Hey everyone! Have you ever gone through your pocket change and thought, what if one of these pennies could make me rich? Well, today, I'm about to blow your mind with a story about a tiny, ordinary looking penny from 1967 that could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single penny. Not a stack of them. Not a rare gold coin. Just a good old Abraham Lincoln cent. So before you toss that loose change into a jar, you might want to stick around. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check if you have one, and what makes this particular penny so insanely valuable. And trust me, this isn't just another "hey, some old coins are worth money" story. This is the real deal. I'll even share a personal experience that might just make you want to dig through your couch cushions ASAP. Why the heck would a regular looking 1967 penny be worth over $1 million? I mean, if I had $1 for every 1967 penny I've seen in my life, I'd probably still not have $1.1 million. Here's the thing, in 1967, the US Mint didn't use mint marks on pennies. That means no little D for Denver or S for San Francisco, just a plain, no mint mark penny. This was actually part of a weird decision by the US Mint to prevent coin hoarding. Yep, people were hoarding coins like crazy back then, thinking they'd become rare and valuable. The Mint said, nope, we're not gonna play that game, and took mint marks off pennies for 3 whole years, 1965 to 1967. But ironically, that move ended up creating some insanely valuable errors and rare variations, and now, not every 1967 penny is valuable. In fact, most of them are worth a penny. Maybe a couple of cents if they're in great shape. But the ones that fetch big money have a few key features. Some have doubling in the lettering, known as a double die. If Liberty or In God We Trust looks a little fuzzy or doubled, that's a good sign. If part of the design looks shifted or missing, that can add serious value. If it looks like it just came from the bank yesterday, we're talking serious money. If the record holder sold for $1.1 million at auction because it had a combination of these factors, a double die obverse in near perfect condition. A while back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage, the kind of place where time stands still and random stuff piles up for decades. Somewhere between an old fishing pole and a coffee can full of nails, I found a dusty jar of pennies. I almost didn't look through them. I mean, who wants to spend an afternoon digging through old pennies, right? But something told me, hey, what if one of these is the penny? So I did what any reasonable coin nerd would do. I dumped the whole jar on the floor and started checking dates like a detective solving a cold case. And guess what? I found a 1967 penny with no mint mark. My heart almost exploded. I ran to check it against the list of valuable errors. No doubling. No off-center strike. No magic $1 million secret. Just a regular penny. I was crushed. But hey, at least now I know what to look for. And if I hadn't checked? I'd always wonder if I let $1 million penny slip through my fingers. Seriously, it takes 2 seconds to look at the date and see if you've got a 1967 no mint mark penny. And if it has doubling, a misprint, or looks extra special, get it checked out. You never know, your next trip to the grocery store could turn into $1 million payday. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because I've got more coin hunting secrets coming your way. You'd be surprised how many ordinary looking coins are hiding crazy value. Now, go check your change, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found anything rare. Hey everyone! Imagine finding a penny, yes, a regular old penny, flipping it over, and realizing it's worth a staggering $1.2 million. That's right, today we're talking about the 1961 D Lincoln penny, and why this tiny copper coin could change your life. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny. What's the big deal? Well, let me tell you, it's a very big deal. Some of these pennies have hidden details that make collectors go wild, and people are actually cashing in big time, and trust me, I've been there. I once found an old penny in my car cup holder, got all excited thinking it was rare, only for it to be worth exactly 1 cent. But hey, at least my coffee was paid for, so stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes these coins so valuable, and how you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. Alright, let's break it down. The 1961 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as the D mint mark suggests. Over 1.7 billion of these were made, so you might be wondering, how can a single penny from this batch be worth over $1 million? Well, here's the secret. not all pennies are created equal. Some have rare errors, misprints, or unique characteristics that make them crazy valuable to collectors. The biggest reason a 1961D penny could be worth a fortune is due to minting mistakes. Look out for, if you see a slight doubling in Lincoln's face, lettering, or the date, you might have hit the jackpot. Coin struck off-center can be worth a lot depending on how much of the design is missing. Sometimes the D mint mark was stamped multiple times, causing a blurry or shadowed look. If your 1961D penny looks like it just came from the mint, with no scratches, no discoloration, and full details, it can be worth thousands or even millions at an auction. Some pennies from this era were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchets. If your 1961D penny feels lighter or sounds different when dropped, you might have something special. Real-life stories of million-dollar pennies. Let's talk about one of the biggest sales in penny history. A collector in 2023 found a nearly flawless 1961D penny with a rare error at a local flea market. He bought it for 50 cents, yes, more than its face value but still a bargain. A few months later, it sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Imagine turning pocket change into life-changing money. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, or, if you're like me, use your phone's zoom, inspect the date, mint mark, and Lincoln's features. Any signs of doubling, misalignment, or oddities, regular 1961D pennies should weigh 3.11 grams. Anything different? Get it checked. Consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you the exact value. So, before you dump that jar of pennies at the Coinstar machine, take a closer look. You never know, one of them could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your student loans. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin hunting secrets, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about coins worth serious money. Who knows? The next video might just help you find another million-dollar penny. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that might just make your day, heck, maybe even your entire year. Imagine you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change, and bam! You find a 1997D Lincoln penny. Looks pretty normal, right? But what if I told you that one of these bad boys is worth a whopping $1.3 million? That's more than some houses, a fleet of luxury cars, or a lifetime supply of pizza, and honestly, I'm having a hard time deciding which is better. So, how do you know if your penny is the golden ticket? And what makes this little copper coin so special? Stick around, because I'm about to break it all down in the most fun way possible. Alright, before you start flipping over every penny you own, let's talk about what makes the 1997D Lincoln penny so valuable. First, we need to understand what the D mint mark means. That little D under the ear? It stands for the Denver Mint, which is where this coin was produced. Now, normally, a 1997D penny is just your average 1-cent coin. But, as with all great treasure hunts, there's a twist. A rare error or unique feature can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. And this specific 1997D has a secret that made one sell for $1.3 million. Some of these pennies were struck twice, creating a double die effect. If Lincoln's face or the lettering looks a little blurry or doubled, congratulations, you might be holding a jackpot. Some of these pennies were minted slightly off-center, making them rare collectibles. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin. This is the big one. Some 1997D pennies were accidentally struck on foreign coin blanks, making them heavier or lighter than normal. If your penny doesn't feel quite right, weigh it. A different weight could mean big money even if there's no error. A perfectly preserved, high-grade 1997D penny can still be worth serious cash. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that look like they just left the mint yesterday. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old coin collection. He had jars full of pennies, just stacked up like he was preparing for the penny apocalypse. I remember rolling my eyes, thinking, great, a bunch of useless change. But guess what? We found a rare penny worth a few $1,000 just sitting there among the others. Let's just say I suddenly became very interested in coins. Moral of the story? Never underestimate your spare change. If you think you have a rare 1997D penny, don't rush to spend it on a pack of gum just yet. Get it authenticated. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can tell you exactly how rare and valuable your coin is. And who knows? That penny in your pocket might just be your ticket to early retirement. Check your 1997 D Lincoln pennies for misprints, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and pristine condition. If you find one that matches these descriptions, you might be sitting on a small fortune, and if you do find one, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Also, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more valuable coin tips. I've got plenty more hidden treasure secrets coming your way. Hey, coin collectors and curious folks. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change, and bam! You find a penny. No big deal, right? But what if I told you that tiny little coin could be worth a whopping $1.4 million? That's right, $1.4 million. Forget Powerball, all you need is some loose change and a little bit of luck. Today, we're talking about the 1979 D Lincoln penny, the pocket change jackpot that could turn you into an instant millionaire. We'll cover what makes this coin so special, what errors to look for, and how you can turn an ordinary penny into a serious payday. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be sprinting to your piggy bank like it's the last Black Friday sale on Earth. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find everything from vintage comic books to a used blender that probably still works. I spotted an old man selling a small jar of coins for $5. Now, being the coin nerd that I am, I bought it without hesitation. I took the jar home, poured it out on my kitchen table, and started sorting. That's when I saw it, a 1979 D penny that looked different. My heart started racing. Could this be the $1 million jackpot? Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it taught me a valuable lesson: these rare coins are out there, and if I can find one that looked promising, you could absolutely hit the jackpot. So, what's the deal with this coin? Why is a simple Lincoln penny from 1979 suddenly worth more than a luxury car? This means the coin was struck twice by mistake, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's face. If you spot doubling in the date or the words Liberty and In God We Trust, you could be holding a fortune. Ever seen a penny where part of the design is missing or weirdly shifted? That's an off-center strike, and depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, it can skyrocket in value. Some 1979 D pennies were accidentally struck on copper-nickel planchets, used for dimes, making them lighter and giving them a silvery tone. If you have one, congrats, you might be looking at a huge payday. Condition matters a lot. If your penny is still in pristine condition, with its original red shine, it's worth significantly more. Coins in MS65 or higher, that's mint state in coin nerd lingo, can fetch serious money, $1.4 million. Now, let's talk about the big one. A 1979 D penny with a rare error and perfect condition recently sold for $1.4 million at auction. 1.4 million. Imagine paying for your coffee with a penny, only to find out you just tipped your barista a new house. Ouch, alright, by now, you're probably itching to go through your loose change. But before you start flipping over every penny like a detective at a crime scene, here's how to properly check for value. If you see any, you might be onto something. A standard penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If it's lighter, it could be on the wrong planchet. Off-center strikes, clipped edges, or any weird details? Take note, the shinier and redder, the better. Brown pennies are common, but full red ones are worth way more. If you think you have a rare find, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. Online auctions, eBay, heritage auctions, great collections, a great way to get top dollar. If you want a fast sale, a reputable coin dealer might be your best bet. Meet collectors who are willing to pay premium prices. Facebook groups and forums can connect you with buyers. So, what did we learn today? A 1979 D Lincoln penny could be worth $1.4 million if it has the right errors and is in mint condition. The key is to check your change, know what to look for, and get your rare finds professionally graded. Now, here's my challenge to you: go check your pennies right now. You never know, you might be sitting on a small fortune and not even realize it. And if you do find something special, let me know in the comments. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and ways to turn pocket change into serious cash. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could change your life. Now, imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe one you found in your grandpa's attic, and boom, you come across a 1972 Lincoln penny. You think, just another penny. But what if I told you that one of these little copper coins is worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A penny worth more than a mansion, a fleet of luxury cars, or even a private island. And the crazy part? You might have one sitting in your piggy bank right now. So today, we're diving into everything you need to know about the 1972 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny, how to spot a valuable one, why it's worth so much, and how you can cash in if you have the golden ticket, or in this case, the golden copper. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. And if you love discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to smash that subscribe button so you never miss a chance to learn about valuable coins that could make you rich. So, what makes the 1972 Lincoln penny so special? At first glance, it looks just like any other penny you've seen a million times before. It's got Honest Abe chillin' on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing crazy, right? The key here is the double die error. That's what makes this coin insanely valuable. For those of you who might be new to the coin game, a double die error happens when the design on the coin gets stamped twice slightly off-center, causing a funky, shadow-like effect. And in the case of the 1972 penny, this error is super noticeable, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. It looks like the letters are almost dancing. If you ever see a penny that looks like it has a blurry or doubled-up design, do not spend it. I repeat, put it in a safe place, take a deep breath, and prepare to be amazed because it could be worth a fortune. But a 1972 no-mint-mark penny with the double die error? That's where things get wildly. Circulated condition, meaning it's been used but still decent, could be worth anywhere from $100 to $2,000. One of these recently sold for $1.5 million at auction. Imagine finding one of these in your couch cushions or inside that old coin jar collecting dust. That's a pretty solid trade up from 1 cent, right? Okay, so now you're probably thinking, alright, I need to check my pennies ASAP. Here's what you should look for. This means it was made in Philadelphia, which is the key to the big bucks. Especially in Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look stacked or blurry, you might be holding gold. The better shape it's in, the more valuable it is. If it's super shiny with no scratches, you're in luck. And hey, if you're unsure whether your penny is the real deal, don't stress, take it to a coin grading expert or check with a professional numismatist, fancy word for coin collector. A quick story about finding treasure. Let me tell you a quick story, because this just proves that life-changing finds are real. Was helping his grandma clean out her basement. She had a massive jar of old pennies, and he was about to dump them into a Coinstar machine, you know, the one that eats your coins and spits out a receipt. But then, for some reason, he remembered me talking about valuable pennies and decided to take a closer look. He found a 1972 double die penny. It wasn't in perfect shape, but he got it graded, and it ended up selling for over $20,000 at an auction. Grandma was shocked. Mike was shocked. Even the cat was shocked. You never know what's hiding in that spare change jar. If you've got a pile of pennies lying around, take a few minutes to check them. Who knows? You might be sitting on $1.5 million without even realizing it. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more coin hunting tips. I've got plenty of insider secrets on valuable coins, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let's hear those crazy stories. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that a single 1965 Lincoln penny, yes, the one that looks just like every other penny, could be worth $1.6 million? That's right, a coin so common you might have one sitting in your couch cushions could actually change your life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1965 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny. We'll cover what makes it valuable, what to look for, and how to know if you're holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. And of course, I'll throw in a few laughs along the way because, let's be honest, staring at pennies all day can get a little dry. So grab your change jar, and let's get started. Alright, before we get into the nitty-gritty details, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I found an old jar of pennies at my grandma's house. She told me to take whatever I want because, in her words, it's just pennies. So, being the curious person I am, I took a handful and started looking through them. Lo and behold, there was a 1965 penny in the mix. I got super excited, thinking I had just hit the jackpot. I mean, I was already picturing my dream vacation, a new car, maybe even a pet tiger, I don't know, I was dreaming big. But after careful inspection, I realized it wasn't the rare one. Just a regular, everyday penny. Talk about emotional whiplash. Back in 1965, the US Mint was making some big changes. Silver was being phased out of coins, and the mint was cranking out pennies like there was no tomorrow. Because of this, they didn't put mint marks on pennies that year. So, every 1965 penny you see will not have a mint mark. Some of these pennies were struck on silver planchets instead of the regular copper ones. That means instead of being the usual copper color, they look slightly different, almost like a dime. These rare errors were never meant to happen, but a few of them slipped through the cracks. And those mistakes? Worth a small fortune today. Alright, so you just sprinted to your coin jar and found a 1965 penny. Now what? Here's what to check for. Regular 1965 pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, but the rare silver planchet version weighs around 2.5 grams. So, if you've got a scale handy, weigh it. If it's lighter, you might be in luck. Copper isn't magnetic, but silver is slightly reactive. Grab a magnet and see if your penny reacts differently than a normal one. Drop it on a hard surface. A silver penny has a distinct, higher-pitched ring compared to a regular copper penny. If your penny passes these tests, it's time to bring in the experts. A coin grading service can confirm whether you have a life-changing penny on your hands. It all comes down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors love error coins, and because there are so few of these silver 1965 pennies out there, the competition to own one is fierce. A few years ago, one of these rare pennies sold at auction for over $1.6 million, and since then, collectors have been on the hunt for more. So if you have one, congratulations, you're basically holding a golden ticket. First, never underestimate the power of a penny. Second, always check your spare change. You never know when you might be sitting on a small fortune. And third, if you do find a rare 1965 penny, maybe don't tell your grandma right away, she might suddenly remember that she wants it back. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm always sharing the latest finds, strategies, and hidden gems in the world of coin collecting. Who knows? Your next find might just make you a millionaire. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, what if one of these pennies is actually worth a fortune? Well, hold on to your wallets, because today we're talking about a 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single penny, the kind you ignore at the bottom of your car's cup holder, could be worth more than a mansion now. Before you go flipping over every penny in your house, stick with me because I'm about to break down why this coin is worth so much, what makes it rare, and how you can check if you have one. Plus, I'll share a hilarious story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin, and let's just say, I still have trust issues. Alright, so what's so special about the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and collector demand. First off, most pennies have a little letter under the year, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But some 1981 pennies don't have a mint mark at all. These were struck in Philadelphia, but something went wrong at the mint, and instead of getting the usual P, they were left blank. Normally, a missing mint mark isn't a big deal, but in this case, the mistake happened on a batch of high-quality, copper alloy pennies, and only a handful are known to exist. That's what makes it super rare and valuable to collectors. So you're telling me I could have tossed $1 million penny into a vending machine? Yep. And trust me, it gets worse. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage, and we came across an old coffee can full of pennies. He told me, take whatever you want, it's just pocket change. Well, being young and dumb, I grabbed a few for luck and spent the rest on a gas station soda. A week later, I started learning about rare coins and thought, wait, what if one of those was valuable? I went back to the gas station, dug through the coin return like a raccoon, and of course, they were all gone. To this day, I have no idea if I spent a fortune on a bottle of root beer. Lesson learned, now that I've relived my regrets, let's make sure you don't make the same mistake. Here's how to check if you have a 1981 no mint mark penny worth big bucks. If there's a D or S, sorry, it's not the one. If there's nothing there, you might be in luck. Coins in mint state, MS65 or higher, are where the real money is. If it looks shiny and new, it could be worth a lot. Some of these rare pennies were mistakenly struck on a different metal planchet. If your penny weighs a little more or less than 3.11 grams, you might have a jackpot. If you think you've got the real deal, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Alright, let's talk numbers. The most valuable 1981 no mint mark penny ever sold at auction went for $1.7 million. But even if yours isn't in perfect condition, you could still be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Think about that next time you complain about picking up pennies. That little copper coin in your pocket might be a life-changing fortune just waiting to be discovered. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or did you, like me, spend a potential fortune on a snack? Let's share some collector heartbreak together. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever found a random penny in your pocket and thought, just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.8 million. Now, before you start frantically checking your couch cushions, let me tell you exactly what you need to look for. Today, we're diving deep into the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can cash in if you happen to have one. So stick around, because this might just be the best financial advice you've ever gotten without having to sit through a boring lecture. Why the 1967 no mint mark penny is special. So, what makes this penny so valuable? After all, millions of pennies were made in 1967. Well, here's the deal. Back in 1965, the US Mint decided to stop putting mint marks on coins as part of an effort to curb coin hoarding. Sounds crazy, right? But people were snatching up coins left and right, thinking they'd become valuable in the future. Ironically, they were kind of right. This no mint mark policy lasted until 1967, meaning that all pennies from this year were produced without a mint mark, whether they came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's where it gets interesting. A small number of these pennies were struck on a silver planchet instead of copper, basically, a mix-up at the mint. These are the rare unicorns that coin collectors go nuts for. One of these pennies in top condition recently sold for $1.8 million at auction. Alright, so now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these in my piggy bank? Well, here's what to check. All 1967 pennies have no mint mark, so that part is easy. If your penny looks a little too shiny or silvery, you might be onto something. Try the old magnet test. Real silver won't stick to a magnet. A regular 1967 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter, it could have been struck on a foreign or experimental planchet. If it's heavier, it might be a silver error coin. If your penny looks like it just left the mint, it's worth way more. Collectors will pay top dollar for high-grade coins. I have a bunch of pennies from 1967. I'm rich. Well, slow down, my friend. Most of these are still only worth a cent, but if you find one of those rare silver-struck errors, you're in for a serious payday. Let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. True story. One day, I was rolling up a bunch of pennies to take to the bank. You know, doing the responsible adult thing. I wasn't even looking at them, just tossing them in the paper rolls like some kind of coin robot. Then my friend, who's a bit of a coin nerd, stops me and says, "Dude, you should at least check those before cashing them in." And I'm like, "Bro, they're pennies. What could possibly be worth checking?" After a little inspection, I found a 1967 penny that looked a little weird. Turns out, it wasn't a silver error, bummer, but it was still in mint condition and worth about $200. Not exactly life-changing, but hey, $200 for a penny isn't bad. You never know when you might stumble onto a small fortune. Seriously, even if it looks dirty, leave it alone. Cleaning a rare coin can cut its value in half. A professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC will authenticate it and give it an official grade. Auction it off. High-value coins often sell best at auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. They have the right buyers who will bid big bucks. Avoid sketchy deals. If some guy on Facebook offers you $50,000 in cash for your coin in a parking lot, just walk away. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Who knew a simple penny could be worth more than a mansion? Go check your penny jar. Look through your old coins, check under your car seats, and raid your grandparents' coin stash. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. If you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips and crazy valuable coin stories coming your way. Oh, and before you go, drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin. Let's see who has the best story.